Gentlemen, welcome to First Touch every Monday. We're a little bit behind this week because obviously you guys just got finished watching the grid overtime, but we are here now and it's going to be a good show. I'm Dazerin, your host. Joined with me is Dizz and TBates as per usual. Gentlemen, how we doing today? How we doing?
I feel kind of saucy, the sun's out. That means the gun's out, you know what I'm saying? What's up, T-Bates? How you doing over there?
See me, I'm just having a great time. I put on the glasses for y'all today. Switch it up a little bit, Professor Bates out here ready to give y'all all that great intellect I have for Rocket League.
Oh, he's a professor today. He's a professor. Okay. We're gonna need to see it because we have a special guest coming on the show. He's gonna be with us for the whole show today. So something a little bit different for you guys. We're gonna introduce Slater Thomas, also known as Retals, who will be joining us about right now. Again,
Retals to find that second touch, at least keeping the ball in that half, let alone get a goal.
Yeah, the little things that you do, like keep boosting through a play, is just for the potential for disaster, and Retals is an entire storm on the pitch.
Retals is in his final form. Check this man out, the flip reset.
Yeah. I didn't hear I couldn't talk over it. I'm pretty sure I can talk over it, Tyler. Like, yeah, like let me do my work. You over here making all these faces, throwing me off left to right. Oh, we were muted.
Yeah.
Gas me one more time, DeMar. Gas me one more time.
Okay, we got Retals here. As I was saying while I was muted, one of the best players in NA. He's a player on Spacestation Gaming who just won the last North American Regional with a stunning performance there. But Retals, how are you doing today?
I'm good, DeMar. How are you? I'm glad to be on the show.
I'm glad you're here. Tyler, you know what?
I'm sick of him already.
Yeah, we just started and I'm already done. But that being said, welcome. What's good? How are you feeling coming off of the regional win?
It's a good dub. It's been a while. It's no secret that we've been in a little bit of a slump since our fall major win in October. But it's good to be back.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you here. I mean, Dizz, TBates, how's it feel having Retals on the show?
Retals my ex-teammate,
man, you know.
Place, deep down inside, dudes, we were on a come up together. So it's good to see Slater still at the top.
That was us, man. That was us.
Yeah, I've been waiting for SSG to kind of make their return. I think they were the initial machine before the machine was the machine, but during the fall split. But now they're back, so hopefully he keeps it like that, Slater.
I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it.
Oh, I'm excited to have him on the show. I always like talking to people with big mouths, and Retals has one of the biggest mouths in Rocket League. So, so it'll be fun. Oh, we got to question him up and see if all that talk he can back up that talk.
Oh, man. You know me. You know I always can.
Okay, well, let's see. Let's just get right into it. We'll talk about the North American Regional. As you guys know, the NA Spring Regional 2 was last weekend. And for a lot of teams got to qualify for Worlds. But on top of that, some teams are still fighting for those top few spots. So I think we should probably, just kind of get into it. Do we want to start at the beginning with the groups and kind of move out of it? Or do we want to talk about, to me, the biggest thing I got to say is the 7-game series between Spacestation Gaming and the Machine, because that was like, first of all, the Machine going to the grand finals. I think that was like a really big, because we had so many questions about them going into the weekend. We were like, well, are they going to be good? Are they G2 with Dreaz? There's a lot of stuff, but I guess let's start towards that kind of grand finals. How was it like for you guys going up against Envy?
We were a little gassed. It was our first time in a while making it that deep into a tournament, and we weren't exactly prepared. Myself, especially, I was very, very tired, massive headache. I was not very prepared for the finals, but thankfully, my teammates picked up my slack for that last 7-game series, and we got the dub.
Days, in terms of looking at the Machine, did you expect them to actually play that close against Space Station in the series?
And I don't think I expected the Machine in the finals. We've been talking about the Machine recently. We say that they've been getting salvaged a little bit, for their parts. They're not really the Machine anymore. We needed a mechanic to come here and repair them. But I think, T-Base, he was set to be that mechanic. I think he kind of went in and did a little something to that team, because they looked on form, beating G2. I did not expect to see either of these teams in the final, in all honesty. But I'm glad to see the two teams that previously in previous splits we were looking at them as the top two teams, the most consistent two teams. So I mean they're back. So go ahead, Bates.
For me, I mean, I picked Envy to win, so I ain't really like Envy. I'm on Envy. They could have won too. I mean, unfortunate plays in a couple of those games, especially Game 4 and Game 7 that really didn't go their way. But SSG capitalized on them, and I'm sure Slater here is very happy about that. Yeah, but I mean, my team, I expect the machine to make it almost all the way. I told y'all I worked on them last week. Y'all asked for a mechanic. I said I did a little fine tuning to them, and I mean. And then they went out and performed. So I mean, it's just like another day in the office for me. Eventually, there's a couple more tweets. Bring them back to the shop. Get my wrench out. Screw them down a little bit better, and then come next regional. I mean, I think we all know what's gonna happen. The machine almost back, and I hope Slater and them boys understand that too. Because
we'll be ready. We'll be ready. We're always ready.
So you think the machine need one more fine tuning before they start on the winning streak by Mechanic Bates?
Yeah, that'll be good though.
Okay, yeah, you know, we saw Atomic is dead set on using that Octane though. I think even the finish.
I don't know, man.
Like he's set on it because I think they used it the whole series, so he used it the whole series against you guys too. Something else though, if we kind of peel back a little bit, the playoffs. 7 out of 8 of the top teams made it to the playoffs on Sunday. You know, a lot of us talk about like depth and regions in North America, but I think that's still like a consistent thing. But I kind of want to get your thoughts on the fact that we still have like 7 of the top 8 teams making it to Sunday. I think the only team that's not up there is what? Dizz? Yeah. But like you guys also made a top 8 last regional.
Yeah, we're 9, so like we're right there.
Who was the 8 seed?
Alpine. And we all know Alpine ain't really no
Alpine's
top 8
not
team.
a top 8 team. Alpine's not a top 10 team. So I
talk to him.
No, that team has so much talent, but they can't do anything with it. The 8 teams I made are the 8 best teams in NA right now, easily.
Oh gosh.
It's true, man. Alpine got their points early. They're all 3 are just so mechanically gifted individually, but they're young, inexperienced, and they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, you guys see the groups on the screen. Alpine went 1-3 in groups. The only win they got was to Scuba Squad. They had a close 5-game set against SSG and Rogue, but it just seemed like they only took 1 and 3, and then afterwards, like SSG didn't let them score a goal after game 3, and then for Rogue, that was just all over the place. Like they had a game 3 where Alpine won 8-0, and then. And there was like 2 1-goal game overtimes. It was just, I mean, I think that's just more on Rogue, just not doing well in groups personally. But yeah, Alpine then went to the lower round and got 3-1 by Xset. So it does seem like they're really on the slump. So, I mean, but besides that, in terms of, you know, North America as a region, like as a whole, how do you guys feel about the fact that top 8 teams are even if we like, you know, even slot World is in there, top 8 teams consistently making it to Sunday? We'll start with World and just go around.
I think it just brings that kind of like league play, sort of solidified franchising. Like you will have consistent teams that you can root for that will make the top 8, the important bracket every single time, and you can count on them to make it. They're not inconsistent rosters like you see sometimes in Europe, where this one team will sneak into that top 8 spot and you're just like, all right, will they be back? And then they're not back ever, right? And they just lump off the face of the earth. And at least in NA, you're at least gonna have consistent rosters who will make it every time. There's for sure rosters where you're like, all right, I can root for them. I know they'll make it to Sunday, Championship Sunday, and the games will be exciting because there are other teams that can compete against every team. I think every team has like their matchups and they struggle against certain teams, and other teams are just harder to beat for them, but it just makes for exciting Sundays.
Yeah, top 8 NA, it's pretty, there's not much competing with it. Obviously everyone's pretty close. That number 1 spot, no one knows who's the best in North America, right? Like Rogue will win 2 tournaments and then they'll get 8th, and then NRG will win 2 tournaments and then they'll just fall off the face of the earth. But most of the time, the top teams are the top teams. There's no EU where Godsmill's team walks in, takes top 4, and disbands and 3 weeks later. That doesn't really happen much in NA because I mean it's true, right? Because I feel like in Europe you have that one good weekend. It's just all over the place in Europe. You never know who's gonna win, who's gonna make the playoff bracket, but North America is usually pretty consistent in that regard.
I'm good. I'm not. There's no surprise for me. I've said it over and over again, and it's just a more consistent team, just going off of what Slater said, and you just break it down from there. Really, I mean, not in a more consistent team, more consistent region in terms of top teams are always going to perform, and they're genuinely going to make the final brackets more often than the EU teams. EU teams have a greater chance. I don't know whether that's because EU slightly worse, or maybe maybe those teams just really have a pop up weekend at one time, but NA teams really don't disband. So whenever you get a chance to see that.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, again, I think that, you talk about North America, there's definitely teams that will have like standout days. For example, XSET, they had a really good showing in groups. It looked like they almost were going to make playoffs until they, got NRG in the lower bracket. But besides that, I mean, they like, where did they finish in groups? They finished third, but they had the same tie game differential with Sonics. The only difference was I think Sonics won the head to head. So Sonics were able to make it through there. But besides that, you get some teams that will show up, but never to the point where, the teams at the top are really falling apart unless, they're already doing bad. And I think we kind of saw that a little bit. I think the fact that XN and NRG went 5 games in that like lower bracket thing made me, who's someone who's like watched NRG a lot, like, oh, they might not win this. And then it kind of definitely pulled into the next day. But I mean, I'll try to break that down more a little bit later. Next thing I want to get into is coach cams, because we finally had coach cams added to tactical timeouts. I think we have a video of Chrome in the coach cam after you guys called a tactical timeout. I think when you guys were up in a series once.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we got to see Chrome doing work. But I mean, talk to me about like what's going on through tactical timeouts for you, and then everybody else, like, let me know like how you guys feel about the coach cam being added.
So that tack was after game 5 of NRG, I think, right? Yeah, game 5 of NRG that we won, but we were kind of not arguing, but had our differences on how we wanted to play defense in the rest of the series. NRG was giving us a lot of time and space in the midfield, and we weren't really used to that because we had just played a rogue who does not get off the ball. So we kind of took the timeout, not really to ice them, but we're kind of just thinking we have 2 chances to win. Let's take this time out, take our time, talk through how we want to play, and make sure that we are winning at least one of these 2 last games.
And like, since they showed Coach Chrome on there, Big Rob G, but since they showed him on there, like, how important is having a coach? Let the masses know about that, because that's the first time they've really been able to see Chrome interacting with y'all on the mainstream specifically, and in that intense moment. So like, give us like a breakdown of how coaches really impact and like shape how y'all play and help y'all grow.
Good coaches.
Yeah,
I gotta make that emphasis.
Coaches are still kind of an interesting topic in Rocket League, because there's coaches like Chrome who are like the traditional sports coach, like they're going over replays, helping you get better, making sure your mental's intact, like just actual coaches. And then there's coaches that will not be named, but that are more just like managers and have the coach title in North America and maybe in Europe as well. But Chrome is one of the best coaches in the game, and he helps us a lot. Without Chrome, we're not getting some of these regional wins that we do. So he is a big part of our team's success.
Yeah, we look at Chrome super highly as a coach. I think even like when I decided to coach, I'm like, I looked at Coach Chrome and I'm just like, I wonder what he's actually like doing in the comms. And I tried to like look at I think I asked Chrome for some sort of advice like before I even went into that kind of way in my career, but he definitely gave me a lot of good tips. So I definitely could tell, like, I mean, and you can tell, like, Spacestation, even when you guys were kind of falling off, a lot of it probably was just mentality and not sure how you really wanted to play the game. And he gets you right back on track, and it just shows. So it's great to see.
Yeah, most of our failures, like, it's me, Sipping on Arsenal. You're not really gonna get many individual errors, gameplay wise. but I would say we are 3 of the strongest personalities in our comms in general. Sypical has a very strict way of how he wants to play the game. Arsenal has a very strict way of how he wants to play the game, and I kind of just whatever works, whatever wins. So for these last 4 months, it was almost impossible to agree on a play style because we would go Sypical passive, me and Arsenal up, it wouldn't work. We would just they would boom the ball over second man, third man be alone. We tried all 3 up, it wouldn't work. So we'd get counterattacked. We tried maybe like 5 different play styles in the span of 4 months, and we just couldn't get anything going. And it was so hard because no disrespect to my teammates at all, but they want to play how they've always played, and it's not working anymore. Like fall split SSG, it was slow play. It's true. Fall split SSG was slow play, methodical, think everything, take low 50s everywhere, go as slow as you can. It doesn't work anymore. We tried to make it work. It doesn't work. So go ahead, TBates. What you thinking over there?
I'm thinking a lot of things, but we have like a specific like question for that. Like before you really break down into it. I think it's on the next segment.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We'll go more into SSG when we talk about the dubs.
Yeah.
There.
Before you start getting on your tangent.
Again, obviously, you know, Retals' experience, Coach Chrome, but for those of us watching, you know what I mean? Like how important is the coach cam being added to the tactical timeout in terms of your thing? Like in terms of like your viewing experience, or at least like Rodas, you said it a little bit. You said that, you know, it was good to like see him like actually like in the work, like talking, because sometimes when we have player cams, some people were just sitting there just chilling.
Sit there, yeah.
And you're like, well, what are they talking about?
Yeah, no, facts. I think a lot of spectators are just like, all right, they're giving up because you don't see anybody ever talking. But for teams who do have coaches, normally the coach is taking a lot of that airtime, and you get feedback from players because the coach doesn't really know as much as the players. They know maybe it's like the players know everything there is about the game, but the coach kind of like fine tunes it and like figures out how the players need to play in that moment because they can see the rest of the field, and the players really don't have that time to focus on the other team's gameplay and their teammates' gameplay and everything else that's going on the field. There's so much that's happening in that moment. So the coach, like in the timeout, you know, he takes that time, fine tunes it, gives the player something super simple to think about, mentality, brings them back up, whatever he needs to do in that moment. So to actually see it on the main stage, it brings a lot to the spectator's view, and you're just like, all right, there's someone else actually talking instead of like these players just hard tilting off the face of the planet, just not saying a word.
Yeah, I mean, did you have anything to add, or were you pretty much? Yeah, that's what I felt. But yeah, I mean, Broda's explained it pretty perfectly. I think a lot of us were like looking for that because again, you saw a lot of people just kind of sitting there chilling. You're like wondering, like, okay, what do they talk about, or like, what are they talking about? So, it is a good thing that we have the coach cam. In terms of, I'm trying to make sure before we move off of this, if we didn't miss anything crazy in terms of like things that kind of happened over the course of the regional. Besides, I think Stromboli doing really well at groups was crazy because you have version 1 in there. Version 1 also losing to RBG. Honestly,
performance.
Yeah, I thought RBG actually did really good. That was Stokely, Money, and Mile. And we usually never see like teams like that get like out of groups at all. And then of course like Stromboli. What do you guys think? Like in terms of like, you know, because these are like the bubble teams that will get the upsets. Do these performances kind of stand out, or are you guys like trying to see like a little bit more consistency?
For me,
I got it actually, because I consider myself pretty close with Stokely and pretty close with Money as well. But Mile, that dude has talent. He's gonna be at the top eventually. He's a grinder. He plays a lot. He was the G2 sub for that Fusion tournament, but I think he's someone everyone should be keeping an eye on. He has a lot of talent. He can be inconsistent at times. He can definitely be pointed at for some of his team's losses, but he's gonna make it.
Raul?
I'm looking at like Stromboli as a roster who's like, they have players that have all had like past experience on bubble teams, right? And now it's just like a mesh of them, and they're combined, and now they're actually like performing. They're having a great group stage at least. You know, they made it to the knockout gauntlet. They didn't really make it anywhere after that because they had to play 2 tough teams. They G2 followed by Rogue, so it's a tall task to ask for, but they look on the up and up. And RBG, you look at Mile, you look at Money, and you look at Paulie, Stokely. All 3 of those players have been around for a minute now. I think Money is the guy that you haven't seen as much of before prior to now, and even Money looks like he's stepping up into his way and finding a great kind of backbone around him. Mile finding a great backbone around him. I think TBates mentioned it off stream though earlier before we were even live that Stokely is a team player. Like we had TBates warm me up Sunday right before we played G2.
How'd that go for you?
Oh,
But
boy.
chill out. You don't gotta mention that,
man,
bro. It's a
oh, man.
warm-up. It's a warm-up for a reason. All right, you don't gotta mention that. But he was talking about Stokely, and he said Stokely he's a team player, you know. So he was super easy to play he's super easy to play with. So I mean, just adding Mile and Money, Mile being somebody that you can't predict what he's gonna do. He's one of those type of players. The mechanics is all there. Just adding Stokely to that roster, someone easy to play well with, it just meshes well together, and it's great to see these guys having some promise, having some light on that roster. So I can't wait to see what they do in the future, looking at their roster.
I'm good with it. Y'all basically covered everything.
Wait, you got nothing to say, Base?
Bates a
Come
little
on,
quiet
man.
today, but
Bates usually got the most to
Jeez,
say.
Facts, he's quiet today.
But we'll keep going. We'll keep going. So we're gonna move on to our next topic, which SSG. Obviously, you know, we talked about it. We mentioned it a little bit with Spacestation Gaming beating MV4-3 in the regional grand final. I guess obviously, you know, we said how the kind of series went, but do you think for you, Retals, kind of looking back into it, was there a turning point for you guys in the series? It was pretty solid. Obviously, you know, MV ended up like pushing it into like a game 7 after wins on Wasteland and Neo Tokyo. But for you, in terms of like, if we break it down kind of game by game, how did it feel being in there?
Going into the series, we were super confident. This was probably the best I've played in RLCS X so far individually, and Arsenal and Typical definitely weren't slouching either. It was good from all 3 of us individually and team-wise. I mean, some of the passes we had, I know you guys saw the passing play against NRG, and it was really good. So going into the series, we were like, all right, this is a team we've beat before, this is a team we've lost to before. They're not playing the best they've played. Mist is not playing the game at all. He's not grinding. This is a team that we expect to beat pretty easily. But game 5 it was, after we were up 3-1, we missed some key chances. There were some shots where I hope TBates hits those. It was rough. But so they took game 5 and 6, and we're loading into game 7. I'm like, all right, look, we're better than this team. All 3 of us are playing better than all 3 of them. There's no reason we should be losing the series. Get your head out of something I can't say on first touch, and let's win this game. And it was really just as simple as that. I mean, we were the better team for that game 7. They had some chances at the end, but it was just good play from all of us.
Were you nervous when Turbo Posa in this clip starts going for his air dribble?
The air dribble bump was a little nervous because
Go ahead.
the comms video will be out soon, but Typical challenged as second man and like started like screeching almost. Like he was like, oh, I messed up. And so when Arsenal got bumped, I knew I could put it back wall, but I had no chance of getting that next save. So thankfully Sip rotating the back wall puts it perfectly on Arsenal's car, who has a perfect shot. It was a pixel perfect play, but it was close. It was pretty close there at the end.
And what about that hype y'all had? Like I see T-Shot over there screaming. Sip got his face all in the camera, smiling and always looking up at it. And then you just vibing with it too. You get really going off that energy. So
yeah,
I mean,
this tournament meant a lot to us. It's been, like I said earlier, it's been a while since we've made it this far into a tournament. But it's something that we expect to start happening again. We're not going to let our foot off the gas, and it was just the best feeling being back at the top.
Okay. So I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Over on Saturday, you said that with y'all's play style, y'all are a top 3 team in the world, and then y'all ended up winning this weekend. So are you sticking with that top 3 in the world, or are you gonna move yourself to top 1 in A, or like so? How we going with that? Like let us all know. I mean, like Cause we all know you can talk. We need to know right now. Okay, you can still be top three world. Like, does that mean there's top two teams in A with BDS? Does that mean there's no top three? There's nobody in the EU that's top three world? Let us all know. You gotta elaborate on that statement.
Last time I called us the best in the world, we got 9th through 12th in the next regional. So definitely not going to go down that route. But
Wise.
I do feel like this is the best we've ever played. And I do feel like if we continue to play like this, we will be the best team in the world come Worlds.
Come Worlds. So you got a little bit more work to do.
Come Worlds. Yeah. Month and a half, 2 months.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Y'all can ask them if y'all got
I
something.
don't really got much to add to that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, nah. Like, I think we all know, kind of just. It's one of those things. I gotta see it. You know what I mean? We all gotta see it. That's really all that there is to it. But I was really impressed with the interview that you guys had before that series, where it was the one where you're talking about we want to be the best, we're tied against second, third. That type of mentality is always very important. A lot of people will question team mentalities going into it, especially because I know there are some teams that are okay with getting like second or third or top four or whatever. But I think it's much more refreshing to see like some players actually really want to win it all. Everyone makes excuses all the time, but actually going into it and trying to play the best that you can is like super important. But
And I want to go back to your play style comment earlier you're doing, because you said y'all changed up the play style and there's various ones and some just weren't working, the slow play, think about everything. So if you want to, you don't have to talk about your new play style on stream. You don't have to let other teams know how you play. But if you want to elaborate on it, let the world know how SSG is changing up to the point where they just beat the machine 4-3. Go ahead, the floor is yours.
I won't go into too much depth. I mean, it's not really a secret. If you watch VODs or analyze replays, you'll figure it out pretty easily. But it's kind of, we've gone from letting teams run all over us and sitting in net counterattacking like we did in fall to controlling the field. Like, we are going to play our game. If you don't play our game, you're going to lose. We're going to make teams play how we want them to play.
Okay. You're gonna make them. Okay. So this one, to let all y'all know, just go back into the archives, go watch SSG gameplay, and you'll be able to figure out the play style. That's how you figure it out, guys. It's all in the replays. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. MVG2 NRG, go back and watch the replays, because apparently it's that easy to figure it out. They're gonna make you play. They're gonna make you play just like they want to. That's the confidence we like to hear on First Touch. Okay, I just wanted to let you know, Retals. I told you, you're on the hot seat now, baby, and I ain't gonna let you get out of here quick.
Oh gosh. Well, speaking of teams on the hot seat, we got to put another team on the hot seat, the Machine. As the Machine had a good run, but they still couldn't close out the regional win. I'm sorry. So looking at the Machine, I mean, are we, the question proposed is, will we ever see the Machine again? I'm starting with Bates.
See, the quotations around the Machine, there's a reason they were called the Machine, because they literally ran through the entirety of NA for a whole month and a half. And see, people don't think that's gonna happen again. And see, like, Retals is on the stream right now. He's saying that by Worlds, they're gonna be the best team in the world. See, I'm gonna pump the brakes on that. I'm gonna pump the brakes, because as good as SSG played, and I gotta give that boy Retals his props for his flipper set for SSG's 5-man passing play. That might have been the greatest passing play in RLCS history. But at the same time, we did see Turbo Poser on Champions Field, who's on stream? Is that Waypunk on stream? I think it was Waypunk and Chief, who was on stream saying Turbo on Champions Field, you don't want to see. Well, Turbo on goal. Turbo ain't gonna on goal game 7 again. Now, Retals, you ain't gonna be able to rely on that. And if you can't rely on that, it might be talking about a different champion. That's all I'm saying. And Envy just got to do a couple more tweaks. Tommy was on the Octane. He was kind of balling out, so I might back away on my Fennec talk for now. But if we ever see the Machine, I think come major, we could be talking about Machine in full motion, full throttle, ready for Worlds.
Turbo is known. Turbo's notorious for being the best player on LAN. Obvious. It's no secret. And Mist as well. Mist was a great player on LAN. I teamed with him. We went to multiple LANs together. We won one. He is also a great LAN player. Atomic, nah, man. He is way too unproven. It's the mechanical players that can't bring it to LAN. I'm sorry. Justin is one of maybe the only mechanical player who's ever shown that he can do it on LAN as well. And no disrespect to Atomic, he might be able to do it, but we saw him in Montreal. It wasn't anything good to see. However, I do think Envy will be our biggest competitor on LAN. I don't see NRG doing all that much with Squishy in the roster. I think he's holding them back a little bit. I think.
Whoa!
Whoa! Let me keep talking. I think Garrett is a great player. I think Justin's a great player. I think Squishy's a great player, but I think Squishy is a little stuck behind in the meta. It's when you play against it, it's kind of. I mean, you guys saw it yesterday. It wasn't a secret. He didn't play his greatest, but I think Envy is going to be the team to beat on LAN for us. I think when Miss plays the game, he's one of the best players in the world. I think Turbo is the best player in the world on LAN, and Atomic could prove me wrong. And he is when he's in the Fennec, man. There's no stopping him in the Fennec, but we'll see.
Nah, he's on a mission to prove you wrong about that Fennec, man.
Nah,
And he's staying on Octane.
He's different in the Fennec, man.
I wanted to question you on your own teammate. Didn't
What's
Arsenal
up?
hit a musty on LAN?
Bro,
Yeah,
my team's different on LAN. What do you mean?
Wait, time out.
Hey,
Oh
no,
yeah,
no,
I
but
want to
that's
come
what
back to
I'm
that
saying.
too.
You said-
Go
You
ahead,
said
bro.
Justin's the only mechanical player. But
Astro?
you got teammates.
Bro, they
Yukio?
were winning. Yukio.
Yukio had mechanics back in the day.
Yukio.
Alright.
Talk about Yukio had the mechanics back in the day. Astro in season 8 had the mechanic. Wait, who? Scrub Killer? With the Scrub have no mechanics?
Wait, bro.
Was Scrub not mechanical?
Bro.
Wait, yo,
Scrub got
teammates
out of
stuck
team
in
right now,
2017,
bro.
bro.
Yukio had mechanics. Yukio had the mechanics back in the day when he first hit land, man. You cannot captain me, they didn't.
I don't consider a musty flick when they're up 4-0 in the last game with 5 seconds left that mechanical. I mean, I'm sorry. I think TBates can do that. I don't think that's anything. I don't think that's anything.
Why you keep saying T-Base like I'm just terrible?
I mean, I'm just saying.
Pause it right
I'm just
now.
saying if TBates can do it, anyone can do it, right?
Thanks.
Dang, DeMar, you hitting it?
DeMar's hitting that musty flick.
Okay, yeah. I don't worry about nothing.
Oh no.
Hello?
Bro,
Okay.
we talk about. He said, "Bro, I brought up Arsenal. You brought up Yukio.
Nah, I
What's up
can't
with you?
believe that.
What's up with you,
I'm
Biz?
talking about Yukio back when he first made land, back in like season 6 or something. I don't know how long ago that was. Season 7.
Didn't,
He had
4
mechanics
years.
back then.
That's a long time
when did
ago,
Dig
bro.
win that dream hack? Who did they have?
I don't know.
That was
Why Yukio?
Turbo. It was Yuki. I think it was Turbo Scrub. No, I have no
Dig?
clue.
Nah.
That was so long ago.
It was VP.
Yukio, Astro, and VP literally won EU season 9
Not a
last.
LAN though.
Yeah, I'm talking about. I think they won a dream hack.
Yeah, it was with Turbo. Turbo
Was it?
Panda Yukio.
Yep.
Leipzig.
Yukio mechanics.
2019, I think.
Yukio mechanics. Don't come on now. I know what I'm talking
Man.
about.
But that's so long ago, though.
He was just saying the history though. It don't matter now. I'm just saying, like, I'll just give him historical. I'll just give him some historical reference points to his statement that he made. That's all I'm saying.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I mean, the biggest thing to kind of rope us back into what we were talking about is like mainly just like the machine. You know, we got like that land presence. That's something that we need to see. That's something we absolutely need to see. Oh, duh. We kind of talked about this a little bit, but any other teams to look out for in the NA region? I mean, I just highlighted some bubble teams earlier, but they're still. I mean, even teams that are outside the top 8, like. Well, what's one team that a lot of people probably aren't like looking at right now that might be really good?
I don't think anyone in North America is getting underrated right now. I think NRG will be solid. I think Envy will be really good. I think we'll be really good. I think Rogue is extremely unproven. That team is a mystery on LAN. Who knows what they're going to do? I think G2 is going to be solid with Dreaz or Rizzo, whoever they end up playing with. And then that 6-bot, FaZe, KCP, G2, whoever gets it. But Europe, I actually like Team Queso a lot. I've been watching a little bit. I've been watching my replays, been doing my research. That team could be interesting. They kind of play that North American style of play, that pretty fast, fast-paced demo, kind of a little heavy. That team is interesting. I think they could do some damage. I really do.
I can see that. I can see that for Queso. What are y'all thinking?
Oh, EU. I mean, I'm gonna touch on EU later, but NA. Nobody really from NA that like Slitter said, everybody in NA is pretty well respected, and what they're known for, that's what they can do. There's nobody that's gonna jump out and surprise you, in my opinion.
You don't think EXO will?
No.
No.
Not even after groups. Not even
No.
after knockout.
No,
Why not?
nope, and nope.
Why not? Not.
They're just not on that level. What level are you talking about?
I mean, the
When you-
level.
Worlds?
You're talking
I mean,
about world's level?
I don't
There's
think we're talking
nowhere
about
near.
worlds,
no,
right?
they're
We're
not gonna
just
make
talking
worlds.
about-
I'm just talking about like
I'm
next
talking about like a
week
top
or
10
something like
NA.
that.
They're not top 10 NA. Maybe 10. Maybe.
I could see them at 10.
Maybe 10. That's the highest they're going.
I think they're improving though.
Yeah,
Like
they're
we
I
can't,
agree.
you can't
Right.
sit here and tell me that they're not improving.
I like their system a lot. I don't think individually they're that crazy, but their system's really good. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, like right now in rankings for this split, they're sitting at 10 in the rankings, tied with Charlotte Phoenix. Version 1's over them by like 20 points. So they could make the major, but yeah, no, I'm not saying like, oh, we should watch out for Exhaliers. They're gonna just come through and like it's probably actually almost like mathematically impossible.
Mhm.
So I'm not saying that at all. But okay, well,
I think right now, like Exet's a team that like if you go into them underestimating them, they'll slap you in the mouth.
I agree.
That's 100% of team like that. Another team is V1. I don't even think I think they're exactly where teams expect them to be. Where in that case, what I mean by that is like no one underestimates V1 anymore. They know V1 will come and they'll show up and you have to play your game or V1 will again slap you in the mouth. There's other teams that you can go up against and you're just like you don't underestimate them, but you know that if you just play your game, even if you're not on point, you should take the series. But V1, Xset, I mean, even RBG, me playing against RBG, I could tell that team they're a couple like replays away from starting to step into that rhythm.
oh yeah, no, because like that's what I wanted to. I don't know if I should do this now or later. Because I want to talk about Stromboli. Because if you think about it, Stromboli, this is like former Charlotte Phoenix plus Kinsey, who got kicked off a PK. Honestly, I'll wait till later. Because I do want to talk about Stromboli, but I think it's a better time. Let's move on to G2 or Go2, as TBates usually calls it. G2 had a pretty good regional run. Well, it was their first regional with Dreaz. They ended up making it to the semifinals and played against Team Envy, and then they dropped out there once they played with the machine. But let's talk about G2's performance with Dreaz. What was the room's thoughts on it? Yeah, how did he look?
I think Dreaz looked really good, actually. I think out of the pro scene, I am probably his biggest hater. I didn't believe in him at all. I played a bunch of rank 2s and rank X and Astro against him, and I didn't see it. Mist was actually the one who hyped him up enough to be on that G2 sub spot. Mist and Illusion.
Super.
I didn't. It was unbelievably.
Unbelievable amount.
Yeah, it was crazy, and I didn't believe at all. But I think Chicago and JNAPs are one of the best duos in the game right now, and I think that Dreaz / Rizzo role, they don't need him to do much, but he's playing it really well.
That's right. I completely agree. I echo your sentiments 100%. The kid came out. He's playing his role perfectly. He's got, I would say, like a top 3 duo in Chicago and JNAPs in the world, probably behind like Ahmad and Khalid and stuff like that.
God, man.
Yeah, just to really like harp in on that. He's got a role, keep the ball in front of him, play third man. When you see Chicago on the ball and go out the way, and I don't know if anybody noticed, whenever Jay Naps with Chicago middle, Dreaz gives him the ball and he just moves. And that's what he's supposed to do. And he's doing it pretty well. He's got, I think his best series of the weekend was groups, I believe, on that Friday against NRG when they beat NRG when Justin had the 0-second shot. He played really solid defense, and that's all G2 needs him to do. And he's performing admirably, and you got to give the kid some credit.
Now, I got a lot of people that are kind of hinting that it's just a honeymoon phase right now. But me looking at that gameplay, I think Dreaz just we talked about it on previous episodes where we were like, what does G2 need when the Rizzo rumors came out? And TBates was a big advocate for having Rizzo stay on the team. And he said that there's no change that was needed. And maybe there isn't because they placed the same. It was still a top 4 finish. Even with Rizzo, they placed top 4. But I think Dreaz plays differently on this roster. It's easy to tell that he plays differently. He is a hard stuck third man. He is a traditional third man role where he comes into the play when he's needed to retain possession. He buys time for JNaps in Chicago to find the boost. And if JNaps in Chicago are in that midfield, he gets them the ball, obviously. And even sometimes Dreaz is doing plays by himself. He's finding he has that boost that a third man typically normally has because he's sitting in the backfield waiting to come up into the play, retain possession, and he's making something out of it. He's making the most out of it. And I think a lot of people just didn't expect him to do anything. And since he's comfortable in that rotation when he has a top 3 duo on the field with him, he's just comfortable and confident. They give him that confidence to do whatever he needs to do. And when he makes 1-2 plays in the beginning series, in the first couple series of the weekend, then that carries his confidence throughout the whole thing. And he's not scared to do anything anymore. So yeah, it's really exciting to see Dreaz step into his way. And sheesh, hope to see this roster, improve on the up and up as they continue.
Yeah, I think that's really important too, watching this roster over time, because you talk about people, saying the whole honeymoon rumor or whatever when you talk about the team performance. But I mean, you guys see the question at the bottom of the screen right now. Rhoda's kind of touched it on a little bit, but I want to hear from Bates and Retals. How much better is G2 with Dreaz than he is with Rizzo, or than they were with Rizzo?
That's a good one. Would you want to go? You want to go first, Retals?
Yeah, I got it, because it's a little early to tell, right? I'll be the devil's advocate on this one, at least because it's a regional. G2 was the best team in the world season 9. They were unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
Can they get to that level with Dreaz? Probably not. Probably not. We don't know, but I don't see it. I think once this season ends after Worlds, if that team picks up a third, I don't think any pro would disagree with me that team is going to be a top 2 team. That team is going to be crazy. Completely hypothetical. Imagine Chicago Atomic, JNaps, Chicago First Killer, JNaps, Chicago Garrett, JNaps. Like, imagine any of those teams. That team is crazy.
So you're disregarding Dreaz, period. So you're saying Dreaz is a substitute.
I think Dreaz is out after this season.
Sheesh.
I think he's good. I think this is good experience for him.
That's right.
I don't think he can ask for more. I think
right.
he's getting his name out there.
That's right.
Everyone who is around like Grid, like Oxygen, Charlotte, like those teams, they're seeing him. They're like, okay, this is someone that we need to look out for next season. I think it's a win-win for both teams. I think JNaps is playing how he wants to play. He looks happy. If you see his webcam during a series, he's smiling. I haven't seen that. He looks like he's playing the way he wants to play. So
why would they replace somebody who's making him play like he wants to play? You know what I'm saying?
Because Dreaz isn't as individually talented as a player they could get. I think
doesn't he have room to grow?
Dreaz has a lot of room to grow, but why give someone a chance with room to grow when you can pick up one of the best players in the world because they know how good you are as a duo?
I think the biggest test will be Worlds, right? Let's say G2 makes Worlds. Dreaz in that setting, that will make or break anything. Like, if he does good at Worlds and G2 has a good Worlds run, then they'll probably keep him. But if he doesn't and then they drop out early, then they'll look for someone else. That's a lot of pressure to put on somebody, though, especially Dreaz. He's 15. It's like his first time in RLCS, and he's going to Worlds and playing. Like, what?
I don't think it just falls on Worlds.
I think it does. I don't see why not. Why would it not?
I think it does.
It's going to be a culmination of various factors. They could ball out in Worlds and even win it, and he can still get replaced.
No chance.
I just don't think that
zero chance.
100% chance.
He's a 15-year-old kid with crazy potential.
But like, time out. They could win Worlds because Chicago is averaging 500 and JNaps is averaging 455, and then Dreaz is getting your 250.
If it's not broken, why fix it?
Right.
I mean, that's like saying the Warriors went 73-9 and they 9 times out of 10 win that finals
but they lost.
But no, they're saying if they would have won.
But they lost. They
lost.
Yeah.
That was the biggest fluke of all time. And they would have added KD regardless. So it's like they couldn't. It's not just because you win doesn't mean you don't go back into the tool shop and improve.
If you win,
time out. So you're telling me that if G2 has G2 wins Worlds hypothetically, and then they have a first killer Atomic on the board, they're not gonna pick him up. Really?
Hey, realistically speaking, though,
really,
how realistic is that to happen?
What,
honestly?
For them to win Worlds, or for them to have Atomic?
For them to get a first killer or an Atomic, bro. How realistic? It's really not that realistic.
A tournament.
They just won Worlds. Why would they pick up someone from V1?
You don't pick up Torment if you win a Worlds with Dreaz.
I mean,
Love the Torment, but
we can disagree on that. I mean, it's all good to me personally. I mean, I'm gonna ruin my G2 no matter what.
You know what? The last team that I knew that went to Worlds and planned on like kicking someone at Worlds, I think it was like Triple Trouble, and that's not even an org anymore. Like that's like that. You just don't do that.
It's called a free agency. We had Dreaz. You won a world championship. You go do your own thing. We pick up somebody else. I'm not even saying they'll do that. I'm just playing like devil's advocate. There's a world where that can happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Saying that world happens, right? What roster? I don't think.
Wait, time.
Okay,
Actually, no. Before you go, I just want to give you this question before you go. And also, say they do win worlds. What's Dreaz's stock then?
That's what I'm saying. No, that's what I was just about to go.
Oh, okay.
I was just about to go there. They win worlds. Dreaz is not going to a Charlotte. He's not going to an Alpine.
Where would he go?
Bro, I feel like his stock is definitely higher than.
If it's Worlds, yeah,
Really? He wins worlds.
yes. This is an
And
international.
he's 15.
tournament.
I think Dreaz goes to wherever the player G2 picks up. So say G2 picks up Atomic, I think Dreaz goes to Envy.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
can see
Be a
that.
flip flop. Okay.
I can see that.
Okay.
That'd be the only way I see it to where it makes sense too. Like even if like they did that, like decide to do that, like that swap would be.
But I just don't think that could work at the same time.
Wait,
Like,
the
you
swap?
look at it, like look at Atomic and Dreaz. They two different.
I don't think it works either.
It doesn't work. Wait, you're talking about for
play
G2?
styles. No, both rosters is gonna be hard to fit.
No,
that.
I didn't
Atomic
say
does whatever he wants, and like you fitting in JNaps in Chicago, the best duo you guys are proclaiming, right? One of the best duos.
Yeah,
And
you let the
if
duo go to
Atomic's
work.
in there doing whatever he wants.
Okay, I
then-
just said Atomic. I'm just saying if Atomic's on the board.
The best fit
I'll-
is Nick. It's got to be missed.
Oh,
Best
miss?
fit has to be missed.
Yeah, it has to be
Play
him.
style wise, mentally, absolutely not. G2
Oh.
is the most mature.
Mentally,
G2
absolutely not.
G2 is the most mature team. Mist is the most immature pro. It doesn't work. But gameplay wise, Mist is the perfect fit for G2. He's Dreaz, but does everything better.
Dreaz, but
And more
top 3 in the
experienced.
world. Oh my gosh, that's a dangerous combination.
Around there.
Combination.
That's a dangerous.
That's a G2 dynasty right there. Ooh. I mean, Dreaz might be the dynasty too. So all I'm saying is, I wish the kid nothing but best, and I'm proud of him. Got a lot of people hating on him, and they
That's true.
a lot of people hating on him, man. And it's hard to fill in Rizzo's shoes, especially being on G2 and you're unknown and you really come out and you're still performing like they getting the results, grid and in regional. So you got.
I don't think I could have done that well. Coming in 15 years old, like all that pressure, I don't think I could have done that well. I'll be honest. He's proven me wrong.
That's right. So I mean, you gotta give him nothing but love for that, man. I know we all respect him up in here.
It's just time to work now, Dreaz. You watching this? It's time to work, bro. Don't stop.
World
This is the
soon.
start. This is the start. Oh,
Alright.
well, we'll see how go with Dreaz on the team. Right now, it's looking good, but of course, we'd love to see the consistency. Moving on to a team that is probably the most inconsistent team ever. We're gonna talk about Pittsburgh Knights here a little bit. Well, I guess they've been consistent recently, consistently not doing well as they have been failing. They failed to make it out of groups. They went 0-4 in groups. They lost to RBG in 5. They lost to G2 3-1. NRG swept them. It was like a highlight reel. I was there. I mean, they all like it was what game 1 1-0, game 2 5-0, game 3 8-4. Yeah, it's just not looking good. And then on top of that, there are rumors around the scene that they're going to like someone's maybe getting benched soon. So yeah, we got to talk about it. Like what's going on with PK?
Team's a
Mentality.
mess.
Yeah, mentality, chemistry, and
Everything. Game
Everything.
style,
Confidence.
play style, actually everything. That team is so terrified of the ball. You would assume a pro team would want the ball. No, that team hides in that. They are so scared of, I guess, failure. I'm not sure. Sosa, I love the kid. He's one of my favorite pros. I want the best career for him. He plays for his stats, and I honestly hope he's not watching this because I know how much he cares about this kind of stuff. But he's such a good player, but he doesn't play like he wants to win. He plays like he wants to impress people with his stats.
so
He
you saying
plays
he's a
like
number
TBates.
chaser? Plays like TBates. Tell
Mhm.
T-Bates win too, though. Whoa. I get my
Play like
numbers and I
T-Bates.
get the W. You better relax with all
Well,
that.
I don't know what happened this weekend, T-Base. Hold on, wait.
What happened this weekend? What do you mean what happened this weekend?
Didn't you have to sub in at one point?
Timeout. That's stupid man out the shower. I got the text message saying I need to get on. And I was down 0-1 in series. You need to relax. You need to relax.
Okay, that's good way to turn it around. Hold on, bro. Okay. Disregard. We talking about Sosa. We talking about
Yeah,
Sosa.
we are. Not talking
Talking
about
about
T-Bates.
Sosa.
Let's go back to
Yeah.
Sosa. Thank you very much.
You brought yourself into the conversation. You said
I brought him
That
into
was
the
Damar,
conversation.
man. I was talking
Oh,
about
that
myself.
was
like that.
Damar.
He say play for stats to say play like T-Base. That's all.
Oh.
And wait, more word to Sosa. He's gonna be one of the best players in the world eventually. He needs work. No, T-Bates. He's got the talent. He's got the mentality. I love his attitude out of the game. He has grind. That he was actually one of the players Chrome considered for that AXB spot back when I got it. If I couldn't go to SSG, Sosa was one of the players he was kind of recruiting out. So he gets a lot of love around the scene. He'll find his way back.
I can back up Sosa's mental. His mental is strong. It's one of the strongest mentals I think you'll see in a player where he cares so much. But
Right.
to bounce off of what Slater was saying that he based his whole gameplay is a kind of like he cares too much about his stat line. Is that like could that be a product of what's happening on his roster, or is that
Yes.
just
Yes.
how he always plays?
When PK was going through their spurt of like disputed like top 8, like it was they were considered a top 8 team. He was an animal. Zombie was their main kind of go for the ball, force out challenges, demo, mechanical. Sosa scored everything. He was a gross player, and I think it's a confidence thing. I think he doesn't really believe in his teammates much anymore. It's no secret Zombie's not playing the game much, and Rodoko was never really up to the level that Sosa wanted in the first place. But Sosa will be back. He's a great player. It's just a confidence thing.
Okay. So Sosa's going to be fine.
Sosa will be fine.
Rodoko
PK
and
is
ZPS, on the other hand, they ain't going to be
They
fine.
will not be fine.
Oh, okay. Okay.
What's up with him?
Zombie, so much potential in one player. It's crazy.
It's honestly sad.
No, Vrolda's
It's
had
honestly
some
sad.
experience with Zombie as well before this RLCS season, but he could be so good. He just doesn't care. It's so sad to see. There's so many players like that too. They could be great. They don't want to put in the work. Rodoko, he's always been fundamentally super sound, but I don't know if that's the playstyle the playstyle they're playing right now. I don't think it works for him.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So essentially what you're saying is PK might as well, they're just done for rest of the
Chalk it.
regional. This is chalked. They just got to move on.
I think they need a lot of work. I think they could fix it but they're all young. I think all 3 of them are 16, 17, 16 maybe, and obviously it's not much older than me, but I've been in the scene for a long time, and that team needs to kind of get out, stop the ego, and just sit down and be like, hey, we're awful right now. We need to fix this. We need to fix this. We might need to change our whole play style, but something needs to change.
Yeah, and that's where I really want to get on to mentality. Like, we're going to talk about how important is mentality to a team's success, and I think this is something where if you look at PK over the course of all of the regionals, you just watch them play, and then you look at their Twitters, you look at the fact that their coach streams often and quite literally has in the stream titles, so don't want to talk about what happened today on the stream. The fact that when they lose, it's about 3 or 4 different responses. I believe what Sosa's just like, I'm frustrated, like I can't take this anymore. ZPS is like smiley face or woo woo or something that I can't say. It's just it's so polarizing how and the fact that it's public too is probably I think the worst part about it. But for just to kind of pull out what we see here, I think that's why we have to transition into that. Like, so how important to you all is mentality to a team's success?
It's the most important thing in the game.
That's right.
Like it's that and skill, the 2 most important. Mentality, a great team can win. Like, it's Season 9 Sonics. That team, it wasn't
So wait,
wasn't a secret that they weren't great mechanically or individually even. So good as a team and so good mentally, so strong mentally, because they're all older, mature people. They were great. And it wasn't because of individual solo plays. You'll see Justin or Arsenal or Astral. It was just because they had a system, they believed in it, and they believed in each other.
all right. So I got a question for you since you said that.
Yep.
So I'm gonna outline two teams. You got a good team. You got a good team mechanically speaking, but they have great mentality, and you have a great team mechanically speaking, with an okay mentality. Who's go? You're saying the first
good
team's gonna
team.
go farther?
Yes.
Okay, and that's just because like energy's gonna stay the same, or it's gonna get even better throughout. The comms are gonna be great. The chemistry amongst each other, and then like just the overall team environment is gonna be a healthy environment for them to succeed. Would you say that?
Right. I think the second team might have a higher peak. I think they might win a tournament, go far in a tournament. First team will always be better overall.
Okay. I completely agree. Mentality is everything. I don't think it was exemplified, I believe, on the stream just this weekend when you saw SSG playing. Whenever SSG had something going on, even when it was going bad, you could still see him talking. You could still see the energy. When something went right, and I'm not like in the RCS like that to really get used to that. But for me, if I was in there, in terms of just like after you make a goal, it should be like nothing but hype, energy. Everybody should be screaming and stuff. T-Shot throwing his head up and down. When y'all have the pass and play, all y'all smiling and laughing. Like it's just that type of energy that you need to really succeed. And I want to parallel it with NRG's energy over the weekend, who we all believe are a really great team. You go back and watch the tape. NRG, there are sometimes when they score, Justin in particular, he just looked
Looks like he didn't want to be there.
like he didn't want to be there. And that doesn't help a team's environment. That really doesn't get y'all going, especially when y'all are in tight series that for thousands of dollars of money, and it's also for world points and just for prestige in general. You want to be the best, so you want to have the energy to be the best. And I think a lot of teams and a lot of these young players coming up, and even the players in the scene right now, need to understand that you don't want to be in a toxic environment. But you don't want to be in a toxic environment, but you really need to be in like an environment where you have good energy and that propels you to that next level. And I think that's what you're talking about with Sosa. Because we've all heard Sosa's comps.
It's a little off topic. Cut me off if I'm taking too long, but I wanted to bounce off that Justin comment. It's so sad to see. And I know he's been a pro forever. He's so many people's favorite pro, but to see Garrett put his heart out into every single one of these series, and then you just see Justin just laid off, not saying a word. Like I couldn't feel worse for a player. It's so visibly obvious that Garrett wants to like be the best in the world more than almost anyone. He cares so much, and to see a teammate kind of throw that away for him, obviously not doubting Justin individually, he's one of the best players in the world, but just to see him throw that away for him is so sad.
Okay. So you're saying when you're watching him, you just feel like Justin's just not like ensuing like anything. He's not mentally there. He don't want to be there. Okay.
Wow.
I can see that just going off of his camera. Because sometimes there are a few instances where he looks really energized and animated, and they look unstoppable.
They're electric.
Yeah, and they look unstoppable. But there are other times like this past weekend where he just didn't seem like he wanted to be out there, and I think that has a really big impact on their performance.
What do you do when you have something like that, where you have like a person like on a team that just the energy is like low, like they're a good player, but what do you kind of default to? Like, are you like, do you like work it out? Do you like talk to them, or are you instantly like?
Me and Garrett are different. I try to fix him. If I can, I leave. I cannot deal with that. I'd rather a worse teammate with a great mental than a great teammate with a bad mental. It's kind of on season 8. Me, Miss Gyro. I cannot explain the mentality of that team. It was horrible. We were 3 extremely talented individual players, and we were great with each other. It was half of our scrims were canceled, called early. They were chalked before they even started. It was just so bad. So when Mist was getting his C9 tryout and we were kind of talking to AJ, it was kind of obvious to me that AJ didn't fit immediately like Mist did. But AJ has one of the best mentalities in the pro scene. He's a grinder. He wants to improve, and that's the perfect teammate for me. That's who I wanted on my team. It was sad that season 9 didn't go the way we wanted. It was starting to get better in the offseason, but I was getting offers to join teams that I thought were way above my pay grade. So it was kind of sad how it ended, but that's just how I feel. Mentality is everything.
Raul, well, I mean, in terms of like everything, because I don't think we like heard from you.
I think I've always been like a big advocate for mentality. I think mentality just carries people a long way. You just the perfect example is Arsenal. Arsenal tweets right before even being on the show right before the regional and tweeting right before. He's like, I'm gonna bring it. I'm gonna bring everything I got, right? And you could just hear the confidence in his voice. He's like, yo, if we show up with the play style we got, I'm confident we're gonna go in this. We're gonna be one of the top teams. We're gonna win it. We're gonna win the whole thing. They go into it. It brings the confidence into the next teammate, right? And then that teammate hears the confidence out of his own teammate's mouth, and then it goes into the next teammate. It's just spread across everything, and then you just have fun with it afterwards, right? You have a teammate who's having fun. That energy from that teammate goes into another one. He starts having fun, and then everybody's just in sync together, having fun, and that's what it's all about, right? Enjoying the time you're playing in the game. If you're not having fun, if you don't feel good, you probably ain't playing good. You feel good, you play good. You play great. Yeah, it's the saying. It's so cliche, but it's true. It is true.
That is true.
And that's what people don't understand.
That's facts. I remember we were doing the field. It was me, Paulie, and Rodis. And like Rodis, there was sometimes he wouldn't talk, and I was like, Rodis, I need you to talk. I need you to talk. That job be motivating me. Because obviously I'm not the best player in the game. I'm, whatever. I gotta constantly prove myself to everybody. It is what it is. But that being said, I still like to do as much competition as I can because it's fun. But it's only fun if your team wants to play and wants to win. You know what I mean? If you're just in there all day and you're dealing with. I'm back. I got boost. Oh, it's in my net. Oh.
You got that?
I'm so unlucky.
Yeah. I don't know what else I could have done there.
If you grabbed the boost. Oh, you didn't rotate back right there?
Oh, I thought you'd be back.
I thought you had it.
No, my bad. I thought
Wait,
you hit that.
You should have been on backboard.
It's cool. It's good. You're good.
We'll move on.
Austin.
Not Austin. But yeah, it's like you don't want to be there. No one wants to be there. So that's why mentality is important. Somebody got a bad mentality right now. And it's Scrub Killa. We're gonna move on to our next topic. Singularity ended up benching Scrub Killa. I call him Scrub Killa. But yeah, this is something that kind of came out in the middle of the week. Was definitely pretty surprising. I don't know. Like obviously the bitch Godsmill, we've seen that happen like 15,000 times, but no, I don't think anyone really thought Scrub Killa of all people would be benched. Like Bates? Like what are we thinking? Oh, we thinking something. Oh, there's a clip. Okay, well, we have a clip of Scrub Killa. Let's just show you guys for the show.
For the Rocket League World Championship Season 7, and congratulations to Scrub Killa, your MVP! Scrub, my man, you are now a champion and the most valuable player. This must be an insane day for you.
Pretty good day, yeah. Pretty good day at work. Feel really.
Okay, so that was a clip of Scrub Killa getting the MVP after winning the World Championship, and I guess let me phrase this question a little bit better. What does this mean for Scrub Killa's career? Like, Singularity is not the best team in the world. Scrub Killa gets benched off of this team. Does this hurt him in a big way? Like, what are we thinking?
To me, it's mind blowing. I always hear a lot throughout the scene that Scrub prioritizes his content over his competitive career. Even then, I personally believe that he was prioritized. He had content very foremost in his career at the time, and he was winning Finals MVP and a time where he almost won again. Because I think he was genuinely the best player on Vitality, but this whole entire time he was on there. Some people can dispute me with that, but that's just the way I've viewed it. He impacted the game in almost every single facet and single-handedly dominated. And it's really sad that he's in this position that he's in right now, because a lot of us used to, especially me, I'm just talking from my perspective, growing into the Rocket League and trying to get better at the game, I would watch Johnny Boy's streams all the time. His 1v1 show match, and Scrub Kill was always there. He was the one talked about who's going to be the prodigy that everybody's waiting on. The kid from Scotland, I believe. And so at this point in time, I don't really know the specifics as to why he's getting benched. I thought they were playing pretty decently at the moment, but I'm sure maybe Retals or somebody from EU can give us a little more insight on this at right now or a later date.
Yeah, I can't say that much about Singularity. I can't say that I'm a massive fan of the team. I didn't watch him as much as some people did, but Scrub has always had kind of mentality and ego problems. It was something that everyone was like, "Hey, he's young, he'll get over it eventually." He never got over it. He was season 8 best player at the event, easily. Worlds. We played them day 3, and it was like day 3 K'd up, guy. Watch out for day 3 K'd up. No, day 3 Scrub destroyed us. He was without Scrub on the field, just say throw another K'd up in that roster. That is an easy series win for us. Scrub was like he was unstoppable, and I think if they beat NRG in that game 7, he gets another MVP award.
Right. But that brings me back to my point I was making about G2. I think Vitality still would have replaced him.
If they would have won, do you think that's what you're saying?
Yeah, I think they would have too.
They were really
Because
set on like the
that's
French.
different.
They were set
That's
on replacing
different.
him.
Yeah.
But
I mean that's the same thing. They're set on replacing Dreaz after
are
whatever.
they? I don't think they're set on
happened.
replacing Dreaz.
I
Well,
don't
they-
think they're set on replacing.
Didn't they
Dreaz.
say that? Is that not? Is that not
Nah.
like?
No. They've never said that.
I thought that he was just like a time replacement. Like by the time this split is over, they were gonna find someone else. He's just
Unless
like
I
a
missed
stand-in.
something, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think it was kind
It's
of
a
expected
test.
for G2, but he's playing really well.
Yeah, he's playing well.
We'll see.
Like maybe going into it, it's like they didn't expect too much on him, but he's performing. It's just there. But I just want to touch on that real fast about Scrub getting replaced. Y'all can go before I go.
Well, I think the biggest thing for me is for Scrub, like we've seen how things like this, affect someone's career, right? Like for example, Kronovi being dropped from Rogue, just like older players who kind of had like the limelight. That's where I'm going with this, where we see them in stardom, everybody thinks they're really good, but they don't necessarily get like after they're done with their top team, it's just like a downhill slope. And I think I'm a little bit concerned that might be happening to Scrub. I mean, how do you guys feel about him individually? I know like some of you guys haven't watched a lot of Singularity, but like from the time when he was on Guild, or is this really just, does this go back to the mentality question that we just had, where is his mentality like that bad in terms of the game where that's what's really hurting him right now?
I think Scrub and Kronovi are completely different, like downward slopes per se. Scrub's talented. There's just no denying that Scrub's talent is world class. When, as Retals just pointed out, he played him literally a year and 4 months ago on the LAN stage. He was the best player of the LAN. With the LAN where Justin, Retals, Sipical, Arsenal, Garrett G, all those type of people were there. Astral back when he was balling out. And the talent is unarguable. So it has to be something mentality or something along those lines. And you want to see him get on the right team again, because I think the Rocket League scene benefits when Scrub's like on a great team, because he provides content like Retals does. In a way, he runs his mouth, but he backs it up. And so and that's good. It gets great energy. And I don't know. I would have to do like some way more in-depth interviews of EU players, something like that, to really get a understanding of why he's not.
Because that's the thing.
Why
like,
he's in this situation.
He's been in 2 different teams this season. He started out on Gil, and everybody thought Gil was like super hype. Gil had odd results. There was talk of things going on and players not necessarily liking each other behind the scenes. Now Scrub's on Singularity. Singularity thought it was a great pickup. Everybody is super happy at first. Now he's in a sub spot. So I don't know.
But then there's the team that was supposed to happen. There's what was it? It was Ronicky, Scrub, and Itachi. Do you guys remember this? It was right before it was announced on something. It was that team that I think that was kind of his last chance. I don't know.
Last summer?
It was right before Season X. So yeah, like July,
last
August, like
summer.
right before the deadline. Talks might have been replacing one of Roniki or Itachi, but it was a team that was like, wow, this team is going to be special. And I think that was kind of his last chance. I think everyone's seen him and everyone kind of overlooks him because of his mental. I think it's been probably 5 years since he's been in the scene, and everyone's like, he'll grow up eventually, and he never grows up. He's always benched or kicked or something because of his personality and mentality issues.
It's kind of like Bluey. Bluey's
Yeah.
another great example.
Yeah.
Right? Bluey got kicked off his MVP season, and he's trying to get back up there, but he just keeps getting the boot once he gets
Dumpster.
there.
Yeah.
And now like Scrub, he's not even like TBates mentioned he wants to see him on another top team, and that would be great because he brings content. But
And the skill.
yeah, but there's a reason why he's not on it right now. He has that world class skill, but there's a clear reason why he's not on it, and it is that mentality. No one likes playing with him. He probably has that like grouch attitude in scrims, doesn't want to show up, doesn't want to play, do things like that, and it's just harming the team's improvement areas. So like there's a clear reason why he's not on a top 3 team in Europe right now.
See, you say it's clear, but for me, I don't know if it's clear. I got to interview Farrier or Scrub or something. We got to get Scrub or Farrier show. I got to know why exactly Scrub Kid was taken off of that team. I got to know. Because that just taking him off that team, they didn't necessarily get better. If anything, they got worse. And Alpha 54 is a great player. But they got worse skill-wise. Like, they're not winning as much. You know what I'm saying?
For Vitality?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so... Like what pushes a team to like get rid of that talent? Like how badly was the situation? Oh my gosh, it's so much because that changes his whole career. Because he can still be on Vitality and winning.
I mean, well, we can ask Slater this question. Slater on PK, right? With Gyro and Gyro missed, right? Mm-hmm. How often did you want to play the game?
Never.
Now
it was horrible.
Yeah, so think of that like Scrub being on Vitality, and one of those players just never wants to play the game because of the way another player's impacting them. You can't grow as a team.
I mean, they're still they just won Worlds and they finished one goal off of Worlds.
And if BDS now enters the scene, the BDS of now.
First of all, I don't think BDS runs over Vitality with Scrub on team because Scrub got that dog in him. I don't know about them other people on Vitality right now. Just for example, Vitality got reverse swept. Vitality got reverse swept by BDS once again for like the 6th time today on the grid.
It's such different times, though. It's like that Vitality with Scrub was so good a year and 5 months ago, and now BDS is like there's like a 9-month period where just no one knows what happens. So I don't know. It's kind of comparing 2 different eras. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, I can go with that too. I don't know. We have to get Scrub on or something. Nah.
Well,
I need that Scrub.
Scrub has expressed interest before we were even on this channel about coming on the show, so maybe we can make that happen. I think so.
Scrubbing Kate up, yelling at each other.
Let's just, I want to keep the show on the channel.
Speaking in different languages. Like, yo, wait, chill.
Yo, man, I don't understand no French on here. No, I'm sorry.
I don't think we could ever have Kate up on here, bro.
Yeah, man. He definitely ain't gonna understand me. No chance.
Yeah.
That strong Louisiana accent. Never.
Yeah.
There's no way. Okay.
We're gonna have to have K-Dop's questions written out beforehand so he knows like
it's gonna be full.
Get a translator and like the 6th webcam.
Right, yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, I mean, we'll see what happens with Singularity, but I think right now we are coming into our final segment, and we're gonna go through this one for pretty much until we close. So for the next 15 minutes, we'll talk about the European Regional. It is the EU Spring Regional 3 that is happening very soon. I know teams were qualifying, and I think we actually have all of our teams. Yeah. So if you guys are unfamiliar, close qualifiers, qualifying teams: Atlanta Wave, Endpoint, Wolves, Galaxy Racer, Train Hard, Howard, Dignitas, and Illusion, which is formerly known as Triple Trouble. They're going to be with pretty much all the other teams that you guys know. The only other news that happened today was Gott's Midless team was picked up by this org called BS Plus Competition. That's gonna be interesting to see how we end up saying the name on a broadcast, because it's a BS and then plus. Maybe we just call them BS Plus. But yeah,
Local stuff got announced today too, didn't it? Or
yeah,
was that yesterday.
yeah.
Yeah.
They announced their like org that kind of picked them up.
Investment
Yeah, it was like
group
it's
thing.
really weird.
Yeah,
It's
strange.
it's really weird. But yeah, we're gonna show like some graphics too of everything that happened in the previous regional. But for me, if anything, I want to know for you guys what you are expecting going into the final spring regional of for Europe.
Like every other tournament, I do expect BDS to win. I'm excited to see Team Queso again. Like I've expressed, I like this team a lot. I think their style of play is fun to watch, and I don't say that about many EU teams. Usually it's pretty boring, but Team Queso, they've got some spunk, and I want to see the team. I want to see that team at Worlds. I want to play and scrim against those guys, but regardless, I do think this is BDS's regional to lose, as all of them are apparently. So.
For me, it's like I want to see if Solary can keep that consistency that they brought in from last regional. They placed second. Slater already touched on Queso, who won it, but another team I do want to see make another top 8 is Team Liquid. We talk about Team Liquid, the notorious org that they are, having these placements that we would expect like a no org roster to have, but now they're kind of stepping into their way, and hopefully they get another top 8 placement. I want to see the consistency from Team Liquid.
I don't know, like for example, on that previous graphic they had Team Queso ends up winning it, but they lost 3-0 to Liquid, which shows that region is very
European death, dude.
Nope, none of that. It just shows how inconsistent it is, because then Team Queso's gonna catch a really hot streak. They're kind of like the KCP of NA. I mean, of EU, in my opinion, where if they catch, but they're better than KCP when at their peak, I would say. And so when they're hot, they can really win it all. But for the most part, they're not going to perform at that level that they showcased the previous region. They're not, and I can back that up by saying they're not even in the grid. So for me, I don't really see them repeating again, and it's gonna have to fall on another team. And I'm gonna have to wait in the BDS one, because I gotta really think about that for the next couple of minutes before I just say BDS is gonna win again. God, I don't know.
They always win, man.
I'm just about competition.
What do you think about your boys at Howard?
Howard? Did Howard make the regional?
Yeah, I think so.
If Howard made the regional,
they're in there.
I mean, Howard, like I said, is the only team in the world who has a 100% win rate against BDS. And if BDS sees Howard, I think BDS knows what's coming for. So that's why I gotta wait to see what the brackets are looking like, what the groups look like. Because if Howard and BDS match up, it might go badly for BDS. So I'm not gonna outright pick BDS off it. And also, going off this bracket we're seeing on the screen right now, how many of these teams are in the top 8 for EU? Atlantide Wave.
All of them but Atlantide Wave, White Demons, and Ricks. Right?
That's right.
Yeah.
No, Liquid's not top 8 either.
No.
Oh, I didn't even see Liquid. Yeah, and Liquid. Wow.
That's right. That's 4. So they have 4 of the top.
Would never
And
happen
at that time, Solary and Team Queso were both set in like 9, I'm pretty sure. Guild and Galaxy Racer. Oh, Guild and Endpoint were definitely ahead of both of them at that point in time.
Wasn't Galaxy Racer like 6?
And Galaxy Racer might even have been 6. So that just shows that region is all over the place. Besides BDS and sometimes Vitality, everybody else is just, you don't really like, I don't know, you don't see too much of them, you know what I'm saying? You don't really expect too much of them. Because I know, personally speaking, when I watched Top Blokes beat BDS, I figured that Top Blokes weren't going to win. I just felt like whoever they played next round, they're going to lose to.
Yeah, it was just all luck, pretty much. A lot of luck.
Not luck. Yeah, they got a little fortunate. Like, they played well, but BDS played bad. And I think I talked about that on BDS. Yeah, that entire BDS segment where BDS were just missing nets that they're just not missing again. So for me, I mean, it's just an interesting region for the most part.
Retals, how much European Rocket League do you watch?
Quite a bit.
Okay. Do you think BDS is the best team in the world?
No.
Okay.
I think they are one of the best teams in the world. I think they are on the same level as us, NRG, and Envy. I think those are the 4 best teams in the world, but I don't think they're the best.
Okay. You know, we gotta ask everybody that comes on the show. We gotta ask everybody. Also, since you do watch enough EU, Team Queso. Team Queso is a team that actually there was a recent interview. Rams talked about their play style, and I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But do we think that Team Queso is going to have a repeat performance from the last regional, or was it just a one-off?
I kind of agree with the TBates where they kind of are like KCP. It's like they're either really good or really bad. And sadly, I don't think their playstyle is sustainable. It looks a little too fast for what they can handle. I would love for them to repeat. I like that team. I like those guys a lot. I like the way they play. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I felt like they caught heat. So like, do you see the Mensa right here? This is such a smooth transition from the wall into the shot, and it's just like that's hard to stop.
They're nice.
But like then you just watch some of their defensive mistakes and their errors, and you're like, what am I watching?
Right.
And and just not being able to be consistent on defense alone isn't the way to go, and they can lose to a bubble team in EU, especially how much people talk about that depth in EU. They can lose to that. So I mean, I'm not really confident in them repeating, but they've always got a chance because I'm with Slater the whole entire way. They're the closest approximation to NA team that EU has.
Agreed.
I mean, we talk about having a repeat performance. What does that mean? That means consistency. And in Europe, you don't have none of that. So I can't even back up having a repeat performance from anybody except BDS. So
right.
I don't know. I'm questioning that.
Yeah, I was scrolling through Reddit during while we were looking at the segment, or actually before the show started. I saw this, and Rams was talking about how like the highlight of the article posted on Reddit is he thinks Team Queso's play style is kind of the future of Rocket League. Like if they clean up their defense, then the way that they play is like that aggression is
So SRG style is the future of Rocket League. Glad Rams pointed that out.
North America figured out that was the future of Rocket League about a year and a half ago.
About a year and a half ago.
And in Europe still hasn't figured that out. That's why they're not going to be able to, other than BDS, because they just have so much talent. And Monkey Moon is one of the smartest people to play Rocket League. It's just going to be evident at LAN that they're just playing way too slow.
I don't know why he said like that's the future of Rocket League. Didn't we watch G2 dominate?
We've known this.
That's
what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
America,
like North America's
so
been
long
there,
ago.
and SRG's been there too. Sandrock Gaming. Just like
man, you and Sandrock.
Man, come on now. Have you seen Sandrock versus Falcons?
Oh, you missed it too. TBates talked to Johnny Boy over the weekend, man. And he was just like, he gassed TBates' opinion up, bro. TBates never go back down from that.
Oh,
That's right. Man, I got Johnny Boy behind me. I know I'm good. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, no.
Now that's a discussion for another day.
That's true. That is true. Moving on back for more Europe. We want to do like a quick head-to-head between these two teams. Dignitas or Solary? Will either team make that final jump? Wait.
Either team will level up.
Oh, level up. Oh, my bad.
Oh no. I think I typed that wrong. My bad.
Yeah, I'm reading what T-Bates wrote here. Which one is it? T-Bates level up? We leveling up?
It don't matter. It's the same thing. Level up's funny. That's all I need.
I'll go Dignitas or Solary. Honestly, I feel like Solary have been playing a lot better. Obviously, you know, they had a good regional last time. Dignitas has always been a team that's like on the cusp, and I think everybody wants to see Dignitas do well. But I feel like Solary's there. Like they're finally playing, I think, how people wanted them to play, like since the beginning. So for me, like if I had to pick between them, I'd pick Solary.
Okay.
I think I want to go actually because I think I disagree. I think Dignitas is the younger of the team. I think they're the hungrier team. I don't like Astral's mentality at all. I love Farah's mentality. Farah is actually someone I looked up to coming up, but I think Dignitas is super hungry. I like apparently Jack and Geaux as the young playmaking mechanical youngsters, and I love Violent Panda's kind of older leadership, kind of just forming them into the players that he wants them to be, and so I'm going to go with Dignitas.
I think I'm gonna have to agree with Slater. I think the biggest thing that we've been preaching pretty much this whole episode is mentality. And like you said, Astral's mentality is in the gutter. Like you can see that Astral wants to win, but I don't think he approaches it the right way. And that's kind of what harms them. But when they're on top, right? Everything's fine. But I mean, it's when you have those struggling moments that Astral starts to dip, and the gameplay from the whole team starts to dip with it. And that's something you don't see from you see from Dignitas, but at the same time, they're a young squad with a lot more potential. I feel like as a roster, Jack, Jorus, yeah, those are the guys everyone always talks about their highlight plays. I think that at any given moment they just pull it out and they can do it. So I think that's the roster that is going to level up, if any.
Level up. I like level up. But all y'all talking about potential and all that, that's great at all. And I've been big on Dignitas this whole time since January. But right now we are in April. About midway through April, Worlds are coming up. You got Major too. And you ain't really got too much time to worry about potential right now. Potential, we can talk about potential for RLCS, whatever they call it. Coming in August, September, October, whatever that happens, if it happens. But for now, we got to talk about production. And Solary has the better peak at the moment, so I'm going to go with Solary because I think that they're really close to really hitting that next level and getting to about top 3, top 4, legit solidified position in the EU.
What do you think they need for their next level?
What? Which one?
Solary.
Solary? Well, they need Astral to be have a better mentality, as you touched on, but also they need like a consistent offensive scheme. They rely on Astral a lot, like a lot. And when he's going to work, they make it as far as I think all the way to grand finals. But when he's not like clicking, and Chaussette and Farah have to put in a little bit more like energy and try to exploit the defense more on their own, it doesn't work out. So if Chaussette or Farah, just one of them, they don't need both of them, just one of them to really take that step to the next level. Chaussette maybe go back to his ground dribble like he used to a little bit more, try to utilize that, like play his game and open up Astral and take some of that pressure off him. I think that will bring them closer to where they want to be. And that's easier to do than Dignitas at the moment.
Just to play devil's advocate. So you're depending on Astral's mentality, which hasn't been good his entire career. You're depending on Farah, who considered by pros, community figures, and people just watching, someone who hasn't improved in the entire time he's been in the game mostly. And you're depending on the ground game of someone who peaked at July 2019, almost 2 years ago at DreamHack Valencia, and hasn't been the same player since.
Time out. I'm gonna come right back to you because see, there's the reason I say that because Dignitas has every bit as much work to do. Dreaz, we all see what he could do in the 1v1. We seen on Johnny Boy channel. He looks dominant. Does he look like the same player in threes? No.
I think Dignitas has far less work to do than Solary does to become a top 6 team or consistently top 6.
How so?
It's no secret. Their mentality is good. Panda is him and Garrett are the 2 best leaders in Rocket League history. I think Jack is there. I think Jack and Jorus both as a duo up top is
Skill-wise?
crazy.
Right.
Yes, skill-wise. And I am 100% taking Jorus, Jack, and Panda over Farah, Chaussette, and Astral. Mentality and skill-wise.
For the next month or for the future? For the
both.
future, I'm with you.
For both. 2019, yeah, I'd take Solary, but no, not anymore.
I just don't. I watch Dreaz and he just needs a little bit more fine-tuning. He needs to find his game.
What does Farah need then?
Okay, that time we ain't talking about potential. We all know Farah ain't on Dreaz or apparently Jack's level in terms of skill. But I'm saying that for them, it's like first skill. You know, first skill came to the league. It took him a little while to get his training wheels off, to get like really cozy into the league, and now he's first killer.
It took him a little while to get teammates that could back him up.
Okay, that's fair too.
He always had talent.
That's fair. Okay, he wasn't first killer though. Was he first killer? Was he Jason?
He was not first killer.
Okay, exactly. And Dreaz in ones is Jory us, and Jack in ones is apparently Jack. You know who they are. They are not that same player in threes yet.
Okay.
They need a little bit more time. And that's why I got Solary right now. I'm with you 100%. I believe that Dignitas, really, if I could pick a team going into the next season, I believe Dignitas will win it all. I'm just letting you know, because I just think Dreaz would be unstoppable at that moment. I'm just telling you right now, but that's just me.
It all.
And just going off of potential, and if they put in the time, you watch Dreaz in the 1v1 scene, he looks like the most unstoppable player. And if that ever happens in threes, it's wraps. But I don't think it's going to happen the next month. That's the only reason I picked Solary. I think we might have ran out of time.
Yeah, yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I was so caught up in the convo. Yeah, we're pretty close to time. Okay, so we'll do this yes or no real quick. BDS and Vitality off weekend, or is it a sign for more?
Off weekend.
Off weekend.
Off weekend.
Off weekend. Okay, we're all cool with that. Off
Quick.
weekend. Sheesh. My goodness, there was so much more we wanted to do. We wanted to have like predictions and stuff, but we had Retals on, and I honestly I think I had it off day today because I was just completely all over the place. But besides that, Retals, thank you so much for coming on the show. Obviously, EU Regional is going to be this weekend, so please make sure to watch the EU Regional. Let us know if you think we're right or wrong on some of these calls that we've had. Again, biggest thing too between that last talk, which is also why we stayed on it. Queso, Dignitas, Solary, and even Guild, you could say, are about 100 points off from each other. And Endpoint Galaxy Race,
Endpoint close to.
Yeah, Endpoint at 1550. So that's why this regional is so important. It's going to be the last one until teams qualify for the major. So you want to see which one of those teams comes out. But that being said, we are all out of time for First Touch. Before I close out, gentlemen, we'll start with Retals, Bates, Dizz. Any final thoughts? Any shout outs?
I am just happy that you guys brought me on the show, and I'm excited for Dignitas to prove TBates wrong.
Dignitas, I love y'all. Slater, I don't know how you on my head like that. I appreciate you having on the show, my brother.
Of course.
Yeah, I just appreciate you hopping onto the show, Slater. It was good seeing you.
Always.
Yeah, so obviously shout out Retals, shout out TBates, shout out Rodas. You can follow them on Twitter. You see their ads below. Shout out Austin. Shout out everybody behind the scenes helping us out. Koji especially,
Coach.
Keeping us on track. Shout out Psionics for supporting the show, of course. Again, and thank you all for you guys who have been watching for today. If you didn't get your drops, you're gonna have to come back next week. I'm sorry, but that being said, that is going to be it for us for First Touch. We will be back next Monday to talk about some more Rocket League. Until then, we'll see you.
Austin.